England are through. The United States follow them, while Iran suffer an elimination. All of this and more in Now Streaming Qatar. So, from 32 we go to 27. 5 teams now out of contention for the World Cup. Qatar, Canada, Ecuador, Iran, and Wales. France, Brazil, Portugal, the Netherlands, Senegal, England, and the United States are through to the last 16 of the competition. Hello everyone, and welcome back to 876 Stream JA's coverage of the greatest show on earth. This is Now Streaming Qatar. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. We're also on Instagram at 876 Stream and on Twitter as well, Stream876. We have an exciting panel this afternoon as it is a trio of England fans, and we're getting ready to talk about this encounter that England had, as they have not only booked top honours but also secured passage through to the last 16 of the competition. Amal Knight, Reggae Boys goalkeeper, is with me to my immediate right, and to the far right, Alex Taylor is with us as well. You saw him after the United States encounter and against Iran as well. Amal, your thoughts about the performance of the team?
The Lions roared today, dominant performance, easy. I think the changes that came in today made a big difference. Foden and Rashford, I think they solidified why they were in the lineup today, and they were basically the impact players for England today. So the 3 Lions through to the last 16, so comfortable performance.
Alex, your thoughts? What changed from that first half to the progression of the second?
The fans, them pressure Southgate, that's what happened. The fans, them pressure Southgate. There's a power of the people, you know. Because the man them say, anyhow you start another game and don't start Phil Foden, you lose your job the next morning. Telling you. And Southgate saw the tweets and said, you know what, we don't want to lose the job. Not yet. And them said, not like this. So if they start Foden, I think that was the right choice.
Yeah.
Start Rashford as well. That was the right choice as well, I think. I think England, I think Rashford brought a level of directness that they didn't necessarily have. And I thought that really made a difference. I thought we saw better Bellingham played further forward. And I think, you know, the changes that he made were necessary changes. Obviously, he had the risk. I think Kyle Walker as well played a very good part. He brought he brought a better security on that right-hand side as well. So yeah, I think the changes worked, and they worked quite nicely. And I think England, I'm convinced England is a confidence team. I think when their confidence is low, they don't necessarily play. They think twice about the pass that they need to make. But once the confidence is high, they don't think about the passes. They just happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think the first goal gave the team that confidence, and we started to see the England that we know that the football that we know that they can play. So yeah.
And this is the first time that England are topping a group at the World Cup since 2006. That tournament was hosted over in Germany. And for Harry Kane, that was his 3rd assist of the tournament. The last time an England player had 3 assists. We have to go back to David Beckham, which was in the 2002 edition of the World Cup. So provide us there for the English team. Amal, let me get back to you on this one. We saw a couple more changes. Trippier didn't start, but it was Kyle Walker, and you definitely saw the presence that he brought from the first whistle.
Yeah, Kyle was really energetic until he came off. I think that was one of the additions to the squad that was really needed. We know that Trippier has a really good cross, but we know that it's a different personality. Kyle is more up and down. You know, Trippier is more like a set piece specialist. He's normally the laid back type of. Well, he goes forward sometimes, but I think Kyle Walker is more up and down, and you know, that was really good. That change was really helpful for the team today, and I think that was one of the reasons why we're so energetic. You know, Kyle Walker bringing his energy, Rashford, Foden bringing the energy also, and I think today was a really good display from the team. It took us long enough to go, but at the end we got 3 goals, 3 points, topping the group, and we move forward to Senegal soon.
Yes, indeed. And there were a couple of changes as well in terms of the midfield aspect as well. Alex, you spoke about the changes in the front three, but the midfield, we're accustomed to the Rice and Bellingham combination. No Mason Mount today. Jordan Henderson came into the mix. How you thought he did? We saw him for about half an hour or less against the Americans, but the shape and the team, how they operated today in the middle.
Yeah, I think the concern that Southgate took from the USA game was that they were struggling to retain the ball in the midfield. I think USA overran the midfield. Nketiah, Musa, and Tyler Adams overran that England midfield, and I thought Southgate, for security reasons, said, all right, for this game, if anything happens, we're going to maintain the ball in that middle of the park and allow the technical players to do their thing. So that's why I think he brought in a Henderson with a Rice to give that more security in the midfield. And it worked in the sense that it gave them ball retention, but in sacrifice, they sacrificed creativity. And that's why I think he made the changes 57 minutes in to put in more creativity, more chances to be creative. Because that first half, we had a lot of the ball, which was what I think Southgate was trying to achieve, which is what didn't happen in the USA game. The ball retention was within the centre-backs, if you remember. Stones to back to Maguire, back to Stones to Rice. It was in that back triangle. So for this game, he said, all right, we must maintain that midfield. We must win that midfield battle, and that's why Henderson was brought in. So I could understand why that decision was made. But at the same time, the balls going forward and chance creation wasn't necessarily there as a result of that change. So, but I think Southgate managed the game relatively well, better I would say than the USA game. But I think there's a lot of learning still. There's still some warning signs that I saw in that game that if they don't necessarily change, I could see the Senegalese taking advantage of it.
Amal, there was another change up front with Marcus Rashford. We saw the chance in the opening 10 minutes, perhaps should have put it away or gone another direction like you have stated. But your thoughts about his performance and coming into his own? We've seen some good form at United, but now for England as well, doing some decent work.
Oh, yeah, and Southgate did say if Marcus wants to be in the World Cup squad, he better start going at United, and he has done that for United, and now he's bringing it on the world stage where he started today and he scored 2 nice goals, especially the free kick, wonderful taken free kick, top class free kick. So Rashford, I think this will warrant him a spot in the lineup for the Senegal game. I'd be surprised if he's not in the lineup for the Senegal game. But Rashford, he came in today, he did his stuff, and going forward, I think as Alex said earlier, that Southgate made 2 changes in the midfield to shore up the back line and keep the ball. So I think going forward we need some more creativity. I would have loved to see Maddison in the midfield today to see what kind of spark he would have brought onto the pitch. Unfortunately, he still has to wait for that World Cup debut, but hopefully he gets it pretty soon. But I think that's another creative player that we could definitely use going forward. James Maddison.
So you'd be all right with Bellingham, Rice, and perhaps Maddison just in front?
Yeah, definitely. I have no problem with that midfield. Bellingham is a creative type player also. Not much, but he can do his stuff, and a very smooth pass out the ball. Rice, the rough house in the midfield, break up the plays and just get rid of it. And okay, so I think Madders coming in would be good if a James Maddison can come in, but let's see how Southgate manages the squad for the Senegal game, because it's one chance now. So one and move. So it's either we win or we go home, which is going to be a tough one. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to have that conversation anytime soon at all. It's interesting with Marcus Rashford. He's the first Manchester United player to score 3 goals at a major tournament for England since Bobby Charlton. And that was back at the 1966 World Cup, and we know what happened then. So a good omen to have in our acumen from the England standpoint of things. So 3 points for England, and they're through to the round of 16 of the competition. Just a reminder of the teams that have and will be in the next round: France, Brazil, Portugal, the Netherlands, Senegal, USA, and England. And the teams that are eliminated from the competition: Qatar, Canada, Ecuador, Wales, and Iran. So that's Group A and Group B. We still have 6 more groups to go. So by Friday, the World Cup will be down to 16 teams. By then, we'll start to see teams drop in like flies, because come Saturday, that's when the round of 16 will kick off. And after that, it goes to 8, and then 4, and then 2, and then we'll have our champion on December 18th. So a quick turnaround and back-to-back tournaments for England, where they're in the knockout stages of the competition. So great stuff from England. And just a reminder, fans, as well, let us know your thoughts in the comments below as well. You can, any questions you might have for Amal or Alex from an England or World Cup standpoint, you can let your thoughts be heard as well. 876 Stream JA on YouTube, so subscribe to the channel and like the video. On Instagram, it's 876 Stream, and on Twitter, it is Stream 876. So those are 3 ways that you can get in touch with us and to share your insights and get more information about the World Cup, tidbits, statistics, any content information you have surrounding the tournament. This is exactly the place where you are to come. So really, really looking forward to what you guys have to say. And I know many people might be wondering, with Group A and Group B now completed, what are the permutations? What is next for the 4 teams that have advanced from the 2 groups? Well, the first round of 16 encounter will be on Saturday, and it's the United States will take on the Netherlands. That's the first one. And the one that the 3 of us will be looking forward to, England against Senegal, and that will be Sunday, Sunday, December 4. So that's 5 days from now. Sunday, December 4, England against Senegal, exactly 2 weeks before the World Cup final. A lot of work to be done indeed. So in a sense, you could say 4 victories away from the title.
Yeah.
Alex, how are you feeling? Is it, based on today's performance, is it confidence? Is it lukewarm? Is it still some room for improvement in terms of expectations, and how you're feeling?
I think England's success or failure will fall solely on the decisions that Southgate specifically will make and when he makes them. I think I'm confident that will either make or break this England team, and today proved that. Right? This is a very good team. It's one of the most technically gifted teams, technically gifted England teams I've seen in a while, or ever.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Emily Heskey up front of them.
Yeah.
and Vassell and them. Those
Darius Vassell, yeah.
Those
Danny Mills
and those kind of footballers.
Yeah. Kieran Dyer, yeah.
Those are the people I watched put on England kit today. So when I see these players, are able to trap the ball and salad a man and make a good 30, 40 yard pass and it don't go for a throw. Those things show me that this side is and will be, probably one of the. And here's another good fact as well. I always thought that Wayne Rooney is one of England's greatest players,
if not the greatest.
But in one World Cup, just one World Cup, you already have 4 players that have more goals than him.
Yeah.
Rashford has more goals than him now.
Rashford has 3, Saka. Yeah. Sterling has 1, which is the same on level.
Equal his record.
Yeah.
And I grew up as Rooney as my England and Man United idol. You understand?
Foden, yeah.
And this World Cup already people have just broken his record. So that just gives me the confidence that this team is a very technically gifted. I think this England team, with the confidence up high, can beat any side in this World Cup. And I'm confident about that. But again, it just lies down to the decisions that are made before and during the game from the manager that will make and break this England side. Come on, this side has Champions League winners in it.
Yeah.
You can't you can't put that aside. You know, Champions League winners in it. And I'm confident that this team can go all the way, given that the decisions that are made are the right ones.
Amal, you saw the journey last summer with the European Championships and what happened. Basically, a penalty shootout, a flip of a coin, really. Yeah. Would you concur with Alex in terms of the decisions of the coaching staff? Because many would say, why go with a pragmatic style when you have so much gems around you? A lot of question marks surrounding Southgate and decisions he even made in the final itself, bringing on Sancho and Rashford so late in the contest.
Yeah, last year I was at home and saying it's finally coming home, but it seems like it made a U-turn. Seems like it made a U-turn, so I don't know. But to be honest, I think I totally agree with Alex on that point. If the team does not progress, I think it's based on the decisions that the coach is going to make. This is a really talented team, and a lot of persons are sleeping on this England team for whatever reasons. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But they are sleeping on this team, and this team can do damage. This team will do damage, and I think on Sunday, the decisions that Gareth make, they will be key. Mm-hmm. They will be key, and I think the game will be won in that midfield. Mm-hmm. Because Senegal has a really good midfield. When we talk about Idrissa, just to name a few, but Senegal has a good midfield, and England midfield is going to play a vital role in that game on Sunday. So hopefully Gareth makes the right calls, and the squad that he chooses on the day go out there and execute the game plan. I don't see England as the team that has that one man that can pick up the game in their hand, I think it's a collective unit. I'm not saying that a Rashford or a Foden can pick up the game or a Grealish, but I just think that it's going to be a collective effort. We are not the team like a Brazil that play the flair and flamboyant football and
Right.
We are just a free-flowing team that we just have to go with what works for us, Right. So hopefully Gareth makes the right calls on Sunday, and the execution of the team is pretty good so that we can come out victorious and move on.
Yeah, definitely. Good point there, Amal. Alex, from the angle of Harry Kane, many people are starting to press the alarm button or ring the alarm when they would say 3 games played and no goals scored. Is there any concern with you, with the captain?
Well, people who said that didn't watch the 2018 World Cup with France and Giroud. That's all I would say. That's my only response to that. Harry Kane is one of those footballers that, you don't see the work that he does, but he's very important. He's only provided the assist for Foden. He has probably one of the best hold-up plays in world football. When he dribbles, even though he has a very awkward type of dribble, right? Dribble's very awkward, but it's a type of dribble that if you try to win the ball, you foul him.
Yeah. He
has that type of hold-up play as a number 9 where he creates space for other people. You see it infamously for Tottenham. So I'm not worried about if Harry Kane doesn't score a single goal in this World Cup, I don't have a problem with it. Because his role in this England team isn't necessarily as a number 9, your role is to score goals. But in this specific Southgate team, I don't think his role is to be the talisman. I think his role is to be a curator for smooth ball play of everybody around him. And if he ends up at the end of the curation and scores the goals, fine. That's it's all in the game plan. But I don't think Gareth Southgate is wondering why is Harry Kane not scoring goals. I don't think that's the problem. And I think people who appreciate football and know how football is played and know that there's certain number 9s have a particular role other than scoring goals, then those people appreciate the role of Harry Kane in this team. But I'm not worried about Harry Kane not scoring.
So just before we take a look at the Group B standings, as Alex was making mention earlier in terms of those goals and everything of that nature, Gary Lineker, England's top scorer at a World Cup with 10 goals. Harry Kane has 6, Sir Jeff Hurst with 5, Bobby Charlton with 4, Michael Owen with 4, David Beckham with 3, Stephen Gerrard also with 3 as well, Marcus Rashford also there with 3, David Platt with 3, and then a couple of individuals with 2 with the likes of Trevor Francis, Brian Robson, Bukayo Saka also getting into the thick of things as well, Alan Shearer, John Stones as well, Dele Alli, Jude Bellingham have 1 each, Jack Grealish and many others. Good memories, eh?
Yeah, once at least he once was. But hopefully Dele can revive his career and get back in the England squad. Because he's top talent. So he's down in Turkey doing his thing right now. So let's see.
Too late for Dele.
Let's see indeed, and let's see what Group B standings look like at this point in time. Marcus Rashford, the second goal that he scored in England's third of the contest, was England's 100th goal in World Cup history. Something impressive for them. So well done to Marcus Rashford in that landmark moment. So England at top with 7 points, the first time since the 2006 World Cup where they finish at the top of the standings. 2010 was second, 2014 they were at the foot of the table, and 2018 they finished second behind Belgium. The United States, second, Iran, third, and Wales at the foot of the table with 1 point. Their first World Cup in 64 years, eliminated. Iran once again a first round exit from a World Cup, and the United States, the round of 16, same thing like they did back in 2014. They got through after defeating against Iran, and they will face the Netherlands in the round of 16. England against Senegal, and England's record against African teams has been good, so the hope is that they can be able to maintain that heading into the knockout stages of the competition. Just a reminder again, those teams that are out of the World Cup, it's Qatar, Canada, Ecuador, Wales and Iran, and the teams going through to the round of 16, France, Brazil, Portugal, the Netherlands, Senegal, England and the United States. So those are the teams that are through to the last 16 of the World Cup. Let's take some of the comments that we have so far. Jeff Nicholson says, just don't think Southgate is technically ready. Sidibe Hibi says, England for the win, gold medal. Certainly we're hoping for that, and still a lot more football to be played, especially with the groups C and D to take centre stage on Wednesday, and we look forward eagerly to that and what Lionel Messi will have in store amongst others. And we'll get into that slight preview later within the show. But gentlemen, let's take a look firstly at the other match on the day. As you know, the United States and the Iran game, a lot of political tension before the game. I'm sure you've seen what has happened, what Iran and what they're unhappy about. Is it something you thought that they're trying to add fuel to the stomach to try to get one over the Americans playing to the hands of the Iranians, vice versa? Your thoughts about how everything unfolded the last 24 hours or so?
There's a term in philosophy called American exceptionalism. And I think that is the epitome of what happened prior to the game. It's just unfortunate they won the game. But I think karma will catch up with them. Karma will catch up with them. I think the Netherlands will.
Louis van Gaal's army,
I think. Yeah, I think they will put them in their place and send them home early. And I think a lot of teams and a lot of fans will be rooting for that as well. So. What happened prior to the game happened. It's fine. That happened. They come out and apologize. To me, it's crocodile tears. Yeah. But leave it in karma's hands. Karma will deal with that.
Yeah. No clap of the hands for CONCACAF. Go CONCACAF. Not really. Okay. It is what it is.
I'll talk about that.
It's fine.
I'm not the biggest CONCACAF fan. I'm not the biggest. You know where my allegiance lies already.
Right. So we've lost one CONCACAF team already. Canada being eliminated. So 3 CONCACAF teams left in the tournament. With Wales' elimination, they're the first European team, UEFA nation, to be eliminated from the World Cup itself. CONMEBOL, they're down to 3 teams, with Ecuador being eliminated. Africa, still a couple of teams still in it. There's no team that has been eliminated at this point in time from Africa. Yes, slim chances to progress, but they're still within a fighting chance to advance to the next round. So African teams still within it, and we know Senegal, they're through. And as it relates to the Asian Football Confederation, 2 Asian teams are now out of contention to advance. That's Qatar and Iran. Brando says, let's go USA CONCACAF. Players don't dictate what the federation does. Interesting point, but you know, the words, there certainly was an instruction from whoever that might be towards whoever was running the social media platforms there. But certainly that's a conversation that's up with FIFA now, and it's up to FIFA now to make that decision. What's the next step? If it's going to be a slap on the wrist, nothing at all, or a deeper discipline or punishment. We'll certainly be having Jamal Tucker joining us quite shortly as part of the discussion. I know he has a lot to say as well as it relates to the Dutch, so he'll be joining us in a few moments to give his thoughts of proceedings as well. So the United States, they are through, and so are England as well, making progress as well. Amal, your thoughts about Jordan Pickford? He was tested a few times today, but it looked like he was comfortable whatever came towards him today.
Oh yeah, nothing doing for Pickford today. Really a spectator most part of the game. Just playing out from the back, helping the back line. So nothing much from Pickford's game, but he might be tested on Sunday. He might be tested, and it's going to be a really good matchup with the Senegal team. So hopefully he's ready, and we'll see what happens.
And you've seen him already in an England shirt in major tournaments. The 2018 World Cup, they had a penalty shootout, Euro 2020, and also Nations League as well. So he's proven competent in his duties, not only 90, but if needed from the spot.
Yeah, definitely. He's reliable, and I think that's why he's still the number one for England, even though some persons might dispute that. He has some credible performances for the English team, and I think, as I said before earlier in the show, that's why he's the number one. So once he's called upon, hopefully he can deliver the goods for the team and help out the team where necessary. And we just get the 3 important points, because as I said, it's do or die time now. So it's either you win or go home, and we definitely don't want to go home just that way.
Yes, that's right. That was Jordan Pickford on your screen just a moment ago there. Not many people remember the last time that Jamaica was at an under-17 FIFA World Cup. England, they played Argentina in a round of 16 and counted. Jordan Pickford was in net, and he was the man that kept a penalty shootout, made some saves, and England made progress. Raheem Sterling was part of that team as well, amongst Nathan Redmond and a current reggae boy today in Blair Turgott. So that was a team that did quite well at the under-17 tour. And Pickford, that's where he made his name before the exploits of Sunderland and eventually now at Everton. Alex, the front three is something that's going to be a headache for the Gareth Southgate and the coaching staff to predict, because you think about Rashford in his performance today. Foden did well. You're not going to drop Harry Kane, so how does a Raheem Sterling fit back in, or a Saka? So two of those guys are not going to start against Senegal. So some massive decisions to be made regarding the front three.
Well, Gareth Southgate is one of the best paid managers in the World Cup, so I would expect him to be paid to make those decisions. If I was paid that much money, I'd spend all night thinking about how I'm going to make the right decision, knowing that my job is on the line. So if I was him, I'd call Mourinho, I'd call Pep and say, yo, who should I pick? And make those decisions. Like, use up the resources. It's okay to not know what to do as a manager. That's fine. It's just to be able to identify that and use the resources around you to make those decisions. Because here's the thing. I think he knows that he's not a technical manager. I think he's a man manager. He manages personalities, even though he's not managing them the best that he could. But he's not a technical manager. He's not a Thomas Tuchel. He's not a Pep. He's not a Mourinho. He's a man who manages English personalities. So if he knows his weaknesses is the technical side, then you would lean on his technical team or call a few people who know the players better than him and make those decisions. But in terms of the front three, I think he should pick the side based on two things. One, based on what kind of game Senegal is going to put towards them based on their last 3 games, right? And sit down and analyze those games and see how does Senegal typically play, right? Very athletic team. They'll run 90 minutes, right? They'll track back. They'll fight for every tackle. So based on those attributes, who is the best set of players that will survive that, 1? And then 2, who are the best set of players to execute the game plan counter to that And I think that's how he should decide his front three. As a fan, I analyze games as well, yes, but as a fan, I'm not going to look at Southgate and say, yo, pick these front three, and then them go lose, because I won't take accountability. But I'm saying, as a manager, you have the responsibility, and you're being paid to have the responsibility to make the right decision with the play. You've been with the players long enough to know these players execute the game plan better than these players. So if he makes a wrong decision, he's to blame. So, but the front three, yeah, he has a challenge. Yes, I don't think it's much of I don't think it's any more of a challenge than Brazil or France or any other team that has a dynamic front six and pick three from them. So I don't think he has an excuse not to pick the right front three. Every manager has that problem. It's just down to him to prove why he deserves the England job and pick the right front three. Pick the right front three, make them perform, make the changes the right time during the game, and prove that you're a manager that can bring England to heights that England has never been to.
But Alex, doesn't feel a bit bizarre? Well, not bizarre, but interesting that you would have persons on Maguire's case, and now after these two performances, back-to-back clean sheets, and all the praise coming from the same persons that were at United, and even the opening game with the first goal that was conceded on his back.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Southgate, here's the thing. Many people get confused, right? Southgate is one of those managers that the team makes him look good, right? And here's why I say that. This team is underperforming at the potential that they can perform at, right? I think because England fans are used to England underperforming, they're used to England underperforming. So when they see England perform now, they say, oh wow, Gareth Southgate's doing a good job. But in reality, this England team should have won something already. You understand? That's why I say this England team is underperforming, and that has to do with the coach. Anyhow, I'm telling you, I promise you, anyhow you give this team to a Thomas Tuchel, give this team to a Mourinho, just give this team to a modern day manager, this England team will win something. I'm sure Amal will agree with you. Yeah. This England team if you put this England team in the league, they would have won the league. If you put this England team in EPL, they would have won EPL. If you put this team in La Liga, I'm sure they would have won a domestic cup or win the league, something. So that's why I say they're underperforming. That's why I say this comes down to the manager making the right decisions. And so far, he's been inconsistent with his decision making. That's what I would say.
Definitely something to
I know it's controversial, but that is my belief. And the next manager after Tuchel,
that's long term.
That's Freudian slipping.
But
the next manager after Southgate, which I hope is Tuchel,
I don't know,
will prove my point. Promise you.
But Gareth, interesting. But Gareth has a contract until Euro 2024, so he's gonna be there, and we'll see what happens after that. You even have conversations of Eddie Howe.
Look here, Simon. Look here. I don't.
Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe? Eddie who? Come on, man. Come on. I even hear talks about the manager just gone to Chelsea now.
Oh, yeah, Graham Potter.
Yeah, I've heard that they want him over there. I'm saying,
not right now.
You need a technically sound. You have a technical team, so you need a technical manager. That's what I say.
But the English affairs made it clear they want to go with an English-born, bred manager. They move from the Sven era of overseas managers and Capellos. So that's why I'm not brushing off Tuchel, but just the way they're thinking. If they're going to go back to that European model, then you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. But the foreign coaches weren't the problem. You had foreign weird coaches. You had Fabio Cabello. You had Sven Eriksson. These weird foreign coaches. I don't. But I don't think the foreign coach is not the problem. Right? I think you just need a coach that knows how to get the best out of English players. And if they're going to use that logic, right? No English managers won the Premier League.
Yeah.
No English manager has won the Premier League. A British manager, yes, but no English manager has won the Premier League. So
Right.
why the logic now that you must have an English manager managing England to do well? That logic don't add up. If you think about it, if that's the logic they're using, we don't want no foreign man running our England team, but foreign man running your domestic league. So that is just anyone who come with that argument, that is my counter argument to that.
So we're going to bring up a graphic on the screen, and I want Amal's thoughts about this. Alex did this, and I just wanted Amal's viewpoint on it. Harry Maguire looking at himself in the mirror and an England shirt, seeing the praise and glory.
It's coming home, Harry. It's coming home, but on a real, a Harry Maguire in a Manchester United jersey, horrendous. Like, 1 minute he's up to standard, the next minute he's making silly mistakes, but once he puts on that England shirt, that's what you call playing with the crest on your heart, you know. And he's done pretty well since the first game up until the game today.
Right.
I think he has
Solid.
done really well.
Solid.
And hopefully the critics come off his back, but you know, that's how it is. You're up today, and then one mistake, boom, that's it. So that's the life of a footballer, or in general, a sports person on a whole. So he's doing really well, and I'm happy for him. Gareth told the media that he knows why he has Maguire in his team, and he's proving the manager right. Some dominant performances, no messing around, looks really solid. So I'm happy for Harry, and hopefully when the World Cup finishes he can bring it over to Manchester United, because I'm a Manchester United supporter. So hopefully he can bring it over to Manchester United and get us back where we need to be.
So,
Hold on, Sam, I have if you don't mind, I have a question for Amal.
Sure.
So I used to keep the Costa Cup, right? A lot of people from Manchester, a lot of people don't know that. I played 2 matches, then I got injured. That's it. It was a 1-on-1, and they broke my ribs, and I had to sit out. Anyways, round of 16, you know that's when penalty shootout starts, right?
Yeah.
And as a goalkeeper, I used to look forward to penalty shootout because it's a mind game. But as coming from you, Amal, I want to know, like, how do you prepare minutes before for penalty shootout, knowing that it's high stakes? Like, what do you do? What are the things that you do to kind of get into the attacker's head, if you even do that? Since we're gonna see a lot of that, I think gonna see a lot of that coming around the 60.
Yeah, I think that's why you have the graphics, the video personnel of the team. So I'm assuming that they would have studied some of the penalty kickers from the Senegal team, or persons who are likely candidates to kick a penalty if it should go down to penalty shootouts. As we saw today, we saw that Ismail Assar, he went to the keeper's left, his right.
Right, he's right.
But that will be a mind game now. Let's say it comes down to a penalty shootout and Pickford says, well, the last game you went to the keeper's left. You're right. How am I going to work this out? And it's really psychological, because not straying from the World Cup, straying from the World Cup a bit, but I remember the other day in the penalty shootout where I studied all the dumb beholding penalty kickers. And the side that they went, the previous game, that's where
they went.
I went, and they switched it. It's after the match. They said they had to switch because they knew that we were watching the game. So probably if I had followed my mind and said, well, you know what, I think they're gonna switch, I would have probably saved all of them. You know? So it's really psychological. It's mind games, actually. It's mind games. So hopefully Jordan, if it should come down to that, I hope it does not come down to that. In all honesty. he just deals with it on the day because it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Someone asked me the other day because I was saying I'm rooting for the African teams as much as though I'd love to see an African team win the World Cup. You know, I'm saying the person said to me, so what if England and an African team plays? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I said that's a tough one, you know, but I'm going with England. Good luck to the African team.
Smart man.
You know?
That was a smart man.
Yeah. So yeah. Hopefully, Pickford comes up big on Sunday, whether it be penalty shootout or not. Yeah. Hopefully he can help out the team because I don't think he has been tested that much so far. So that's a testament as to the backline doing really well for England also. Harry Kane, Stones in the central midfield, centre back row. So let's see how it goes on Sunday.
Yep, certainly exciting. Yeah, certainly exciting times ahead. We're going to show you the graphics of the matches that are to come ahead tomorrow, and we'll hear from Jamal for just a few minutes in terms of his thoughts. The Dutch are also advancing as well, so as a Dutch fan we get his bit of insight into it as well. So on your screen quite shortly you'll be able to see those matches in particular. So these were the matches that took place today, and the United States and England are through. The Netherlands and Senegal are also through. Now as it relates to Wednesday, that is November 30th. It's Group C and D that will take the spotlight. Some big matches. The 2018 winners, the defending champions, are up and running, and they are already through, but they can secure group honors with a result. So as it relates to those matches in particular, at 10 o'clock, it's Tunisia against France. Also at 10, Australia against Denmark. And at 2 o'clock, Poland against Argentina, and Saudi Arabia against Mexico. Just a reminder again, at 9 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock, our morning show, afternoon show, and post-game show. 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Those are the matches to stay tuned. Just before we bring Jamal on to get his views, Amal, I just wanted to ask you one more. You spoke about Harry Maguire, the life of a footballer, what they have to go through. When you face pressure or adversity, how do you deal with it? Is it about forgetting about it, moving on, or meditation and saying, you know, that was yesterday, today's a new day, press forward?
Yeah, definitely. What happened, and there's no way you can change it. So it's how you bounce back. And as I said, that's the way of a professional, not just a footballer, but on a whole. Even persons that are 9 to 5, you know, they might make mistakes, and they just have to know how to deal with it. I don't really dwell on the past. That's not me, especially as a goalkeeper. You know, you will make mistakes, and that's the only way you can grow, by making your mistakes. When the situation happens again, it's how you deal with it. So that's just me. I don't really dwell on the past. Whatever happens, and then it's a new day. I move forward. I go forward about my daily routine. So that's how I deal with it.
All right, thanks very much there, Amal. Now, Jamal, the Dutch are through, England are through, so are Senegal and the United States. Your thoughts about how today went as a whole?
I think it was an interesting day. It tends to happen on the last day of the group stages. You tend to have a lot of drama, and because you're fighting for everything at that point, is usually a lot of excitement as well. So it was a good game, a good day for the games. I think for many reasons you could have found any one of the games the most interesting. Actually, it's funny to say, but I think the Netherlands game was the least interesting game today, because, like I said yesterday, it was just kind of a kind of predictable conclusion. The Netherlands win over Qatar, no big surprises there, you know. Yeah. And then the England-Wales game was a really good watch, not gonna lie. Nowhere near an England fan, but it was actually very nice to watch. The USA-Iran game, there was a lot on the line, some that we've spoken about already. On the football field as well, there was a lot. But as a game, just the football, there was a lot of intrigue to it. So it was a good watch. And then Senegal and Ecuador, we knew going in that was going to be a close affair. And, you know, the fact that Senegal got it, I mean, I said yesterday that I root for the African teams. I want to see them do well, right. As do a lot of people. So it was good to see them get that. I think I made mention that Ghana, is really my African team that I like to support. But behind them, I'd probably say Senegal is like a next team that I can comfortably root for. So it was good to see them get 3 points and go through.
I mean, you and I have had general conversations about this, but now that there's building momentum, excitement about it, just wanted to get your thoughts about Cody Gakpo, who has done so well in this competition and has been linked towards England specifically. You think United should perhaps replace the CR7 with the Gakpo in that role, because Eric Ten Hag has fond memories of him being in the Eredivisie and likes him quite well?
Well, I think Ornella said it yesterday. I think she mentioned about it was Joel. She said about being able to fit into the system of play. A Ten Hag team is not the same as a Vanguard team, and it's not the same as the PSV team that he plays in either. But he's a Dutch player, and he is playing for a Dutch coach, and someone that is bred in the type of football that they play in Netherlands. And Gakpo clearly is a proponent of that type of football, because he plays right across the line, and that's something I usually find with Dutch players. Their intelligence and their technical ability allows them to go anywhere they need to go as per the requirements of the team. And Gakpo, at least as an attacking player, obviously has the same attributes. So, speaking of his attributes, I mean, he's fast, he's tall, he's strong, he's skillful, has a decent strike on him. We mentioned it when we were watching the game earlier. A few players at his age anyway can rival him in terms of that edge of the area strike. There is before him. I think the most telling person would have been a Mason Greenwood type of character. His ability to shoot from the edge of the box was immaculate. It was, as soon as he got there, danger. Gakpo is the same thing. He has that kind of strike. He has a pure strike, right? And then he also has decent finishing ability. So in a close quarters, he can also get it done. So, I mean, for United, absolutely love it. I would love to see that happen. But in general, I'm sure it will at some point. It's just a matter of time. It's when, not if.
Right. I mean, right now you look at it, and before we show the graphic, just wanted your quick thoughts about it. You have Mbappe with 3 goals already, Rashford with 3, Valencia's 3, but he's out of the competition right now. Golden Boot contender, at least?
Oh, absolutely. I was actually thinking about that today when I saw that didn't see, because somehow they decided to spite me by scoring as soon as I stepped through the door. But when I heard that it was him that scored again, I was like, yo, this kid is on a roll. He's going for something.
Absolutely.
He seems like he has all the confidence needed. And typically in the World Cup, 5 to 6 goals is all you need to get the Golden Boot. It'll be an unprecedented count to get more than that. You may know better than me, but I can only think of one person who's ever gotten more than 6 goals in a single World Cup, right? So, to get more than that in one World Cup would be a lot, and he's already halfway to 6. I mean, him and a few others as you mentioned.
Almost, yeah.
But let me think. Mbappe definitely can get more, especially playing in a better French team than the Netherlands team is.
Right.
And who was the other person?
Rashford.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, Rashi can definitely get more. He's in some great form, and never mind the rest of England. I think he's in the type of form that he could get it. But that's one of the eventual goats in Mbappe. One of the great young forwards coming into very good form in Rashford, and an emerging talent that is already immensely talented. So it'll be interesting to see how they duke it out. It's funny to see that such young kids are the ones leading, and a very old man who's now old. But it's fun to see how such young kids are actually leading the way in terms of the Golden Boot race. But there are a few others on too as well who probably could go deeper in the competition. Richarlison, for example, Portugal with Bruno. And who knows, maybe Christie can get a couple before the competition ends out. But yeah, he's definitely in amongst the mix, and he obviously looks like he's going to keep on scoring. So Golden Boot contender for sure.
All right, let's show you the graphics as it relates to tomorrow's fixtures in particular. Tunisia against France at 10, also Australia against Denmark. At 2 o'clock, it's Poland against Argentina and Saudi Arabia against Mexico. Just a reminder, the pre-game show is at 9 o'clock, post-game and pre-game show again at 1 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock, the post-game show. Amal, really thank you for coming in today. Really appreciate it. Just before we sign out, just wanted to get your thoughts about the matches tomorrow. Which one you're looking forward to the most? Messi, and Argentina, or the CONCACAF guys and Mexico as well. Just want to get your thoughts about the matches for tomorrow.
I think it will be an interesting one for Argentina. Messi knows what he needs to do. Argentina know what they need to do. So it's going to be really interesting. I think the Saudi Arabia-Mexico game is one of interest also, with both of them having a chance to go through.
Yeah.
So one CONCACAF team is through. So hopefully another CONCACAF team can go through. But I think that's the match of interest, the Saudi-Mexico match. I think Argentina will probably take care of business.
And Jamal, same for you, or looking at the French and what they will have to offer?
Well, I'd agree with Amal's assessment of Group A, for sure. I think Saudi Arabia, Mexico is an interesting encounter. We spoke about how spirited they are, so it's not going to be an easy game. Coming into the competition, you might have said Mexico would have the better hand of it, but obviously they're not here to just lie down and take whatever comes. They're here to fight for their place in the World Cup. And then as for France, absolutely. You see, the thing is, because of what France has been going into the World Cup, and essentially what they've become because of all the different troubles at the World Cup or in around it, it's still hard to really figure them out. So I'm still waiting to see like the clearest sign that this is a team to be worried about.
Right.
Denmark was a close game. The first game was better, but not necessarily more convincing. So, let's see what they can do now that they have 2 good results under the belt and they're getting more accustomed to each other as well. So yeah, I'm more intrigued by the France game, but I am actually very interested to see what Saudi Arabia can do, because I have them going deeper than I'd see them being quarterfinalists because of the different things that we mentioned before about them. I could see them getting there, so I want to see if they can actually get it done.
All right, thank you very much to our Reggae Boys goalkeeper Amal Knight, and also to Jamal Tucker for being part of our panel discussion, especially for a post game as well. Amal has been with us since about 1 o'clock or so we really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much as well for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to 876 Stream Jamaica. Join us again at 9 o'clock for our pre-game show tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Iya, sudah begitu.